Right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about Indiana Jones 5 or Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. There's been lots of rumours and rumblings about this film, primarily centred around Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Fleabag. Well, she is from Fleabag, sorry, not Fleabag character, but her in this film, taking over the role of Indiana Jones. Now, all these rumours were seemingly confirmed from the trailer, but James Mangold is still really denying all of this stuff. Now, I'm not saying it's one way or the other, because I'm in a peculiar patch or spot here where I had someone that I know that worked on this film, and when a lot of the initial sort of artist photos released, they out and out refuted all of that stuff, basically saying no, the sort of bell, the Nazi bell that was in that initial leaked info wasn't true. That wasn't going to be happening in this film. And then they also said that Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character doesn't take up the mantle. So they essentially repeated a lot of what James Mangold is saying. But it's hard to deny what the eyes see. And what the eyes see is seemingly a setup. Now, this individual that I know did later confirm that it's left open that there could be a spin-off, right? That's how they framed it. That it was left open that there could be a spin-off. So I'm wondering if James Mangold is saying a whole bunch of this stuff and being very pedantic. You know, he's playing a game of pedantism due to his wording. He could be. And I really hope he's not. And the reason why I say this, and we'll get to what he said in a minute, is because, you know, the reason why I really hope he's not being pedantic with his wording is because if there's even an air of truth, a semblance of truth to what's being said and what was leaked and what people think is going to happen, you lose all credibility. And the thing is like, I actually really like some of James Mangold's films. Two specifically, three I guess that jump out to me. 3:10 to Yuma is an incredible film. Logan, an incredible film. And then also, more recently, he did Ford versus Ferrari, which was not a film that got a lot of wide-ranging praise, because it came at a weird time where we were just starting the pandemic. And people were still going out, but then they weren't, and then it was getting good word of mouth, but then no one really watched it because they were like, oh, it's a car movie. It's not a car movie. It's a very character-driven story with cars involved, because that's the backdrop of these interpersonal relations. And that is an incredible film, and it's a masterclass in cinematography and directing. It is just a brilliant film. And I will sing that film's praises till the cows come home. And James Mangold is a part of why that film was so good. And so if he's any air of semblance, he's dug himself into a hole where he loses all credibility. And that is a shame. So let's take a look and see what he said, right? Because this is the important stuff. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I still really dislike that name. I don't think it's great. So director James Mangold addresses the baffling time travel, retcon rumours. With some bizarre theories swirling around about James Mangold's plans for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the filmmaker has set the record straight, and hopefully not with pedantism, when it comes to claims we're getting a time travel story. It does look like a time travel story. Pretty obviously looks like a time travel story. Even after our first proper look at Indiana Jones 5, there's still an awful lot we don't know about Harrison Ford's final appearance as the iconic adventurer. Now, the movie has a title, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. We're all wondering what the significance of that could be. However, long before it was revealed, theories have been swirling that the plan is to follow Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls aliens with a story about time travel. And there's a lot of stuff in the trailer which looks like time travel. You know, again, it's important to note, there is a lot of stuff in this trailer which looks like time travel. There is. There's even a shot which legit looks like they're in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and there's a swirling vortex around them. So I can believe it. And that was, again, these rumours started to circulate from the off, because the first, the first leaked artwork that released was about the Nazis' time-travelling bell item. I can't remember what it's called now. And so there's all these, that was from the off, that was the inception point that began a lot of these rumours, and then there's been more stuff on Reddit and stuff like that. Now he says, believe it or not, there's even a rumour out there that the Dial of Destiny could see Indiana Jones erased from existence, with his goddaughter, Helena, taking his place in all those stories and becoming the new face of the franchise. Now this article says it's nonsensical rubbish, especially the part about this movie ending with her VFX'd into key scenes from Ford's tenure. I don't want to say it is complete nonsensical rubbish, though. You've got to remember this is Lucasfilm, and this is the thing that they like to do. They do like to retcon a bunch of stuff. And so I can believe this is some dumb shit that they would pull. But director James Mangold has come out and he's dismissed these claims as being false. But he's clearly sick and tired of being asked about both of them and the theory this movie acts as a passing of the baton. Now he says this anyway. One more time. No one is taking over or replacing Indy, and this is the other important part, he says, or donning his hat. Nor is he being erased through some contrivance, and he never was. Not in any cut or script, but trolls will troll. That's how they get their clicks. Now, that's it's a mischaracter to say trolls will troll, right? Like, people will have the right to report on rumours. I think it's always important to say, hey, look, this is a rumour at this point in time. We don't know. Or I was handed this and the source isn't that reliable, blah, blah, blah. Or whatever, right? At least cite your sources, where you got it from. Now, saying that no one is taken over, I heard that this sets up a spin-off. And so he's saying no one is taking over. Yeah, true, that could be pedantism. No one is specifically taking over the mantle of Indiana Jones. But there is this leaves it open for a spin-off. Now, I heard that from my source, and they're completely right about so many things. So I would be inclined to believe them over James Mangold here saying, no one is taking over at all. The erase thing, it is Lucasfilm. Now he says this, and please don't exhaust me pointing out how once in a while a troll is right. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then. Now he is referencing Doomcock, and it's important to note, because loads of people will go, well, Doomcock was right about The Rise of Skywalker. All those leaks came from Reddit and a user called Jedi Paxis. They actually weren't from Doomcock, and I know that because I reported on those rumours. So it wasn't that Doomcock was right, it was that Jedi Paxis on Reddit was right about Lucasfilm's diabolical Star Wars entry. And then all the leaks about the Batman were wrong as well from Doomcock. It's important to note that. He also did report that Zoe Kravitz got pregnant and Robert Pattinson was banging her on the Batmobile. I mean, this is such bollocks. So anyway, the difference between trolling assholes and everyone else is that they are trying to make $1 off of your feelings about other films and culture war politics. It's important to note is that, you can't play the culture war game, not saying that James Mangold is, but a studio does, and then go, oh, you can't play the culture war game as well, when referencing how shit the films are getting with culture war politics, right? Like, don't play the game if you don't want it referenced against you either. It's super dumb. They push controversial guesses as coming from sources to gin up clicks, let it go end. And that part I do kind of, look, Doomcock does have a long-standing history of a lot of nonsense, right? Like, literally once a month there's a video where Kathleen Kennedy's fired. Essentially it's Mike Zero, right? It's very much that sort of stuff. So you can't be annoyed at Mangold for having that opinion, because if he just took a cursory glance at Doomcock's page, a lot of it is nonsense. Like, a lot of it is. And it is nonsense. Proven nonsense as well. But this stuff's interesting because there is a lot of elements of that trailer which does seem to confirm a lot of this stuff. But again, a lot of this stuff did apparently come from Reddit as well. So I don't know. Who knows? At this stage, who knows? But I sincerely hope, for Mangold's sake, that there's not even a semblance of truth here. Because directors have done this a few times now. They've doubled down and gone, no. Kevin Smith, for starters, was one of them. And he was like, well, technically, it's like, Kevin Smith, you're a dick, mate. No one likes you anymore. Go cry at your next film. No one's interested. So I really, really sincerely hope so. Especially because Mangold doesn't have to do any of this stuff. Right? He doesn't have to chime in at all. So I hope for Mangold's sake there's no truth to any of this. But let me know what you guys think down below. Cheers, guys. Take care.